Bongo looking strong with a KO, and as we saw this fight just moments ago, Patrick LaRue pounds out an 8-round decision over Garing Lane. We're hoping for more excitement to come in the gathering storm here that is this 18-foot ring as we look at Otis Grant getting ready for Mark Woolnough, who's the Canadian super middleweight champion. Tail of the tape, Bill.
And you see some of the numbers. Grant actually started, he said when he got contacted around this 6 weeks ago, a month ago, he was at 190 pounds. He did get down to 167.9 yesterday before. So you see he did make weight. The advantage, you saw 13 years he's giving away to Mark, and that could be the difference.
Let's go up to Christian Gauthier for the introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's today's main event. 10 rounds of actions for the Canadian Super Middleweight Championship. Ce combat de championnat canadien est sanctionné par la Fédération canadienne de boxe et par son président, M. Jerry Doiron, ainsi que par la Régie des alcools, des courses et des jeux, et son président, M. Charles Côté, qui est présent parmi nous. La Fédération et la Commission sont respectivement représentés aujourd'hui par M. Hubert Earl et Mme Danielle Gagnon. This Canadian Super Middleweight Championship contest has been sanctioned and is being conducted under the direction of the Canadian Boxing Federation, its president, Mr. Jerry Doiron, by la Régie des alcools, des courses et des jeux, and its president, Mr. Charles Côté, with us today. The Federation and Commission are each respectively represented at ringside by Mr. Hubert Earl and Mme Danielle Gagnon. Les juges pour ce combat, judging this bout at ringside, Monsieur Jean Lapointe, Monsieur Pasquale Procopio, and Mr. Jack Woodburn. L'arbitre, when the bell rings, referee Mike Griffin will handle all the action. D'abord, dans le coin rouge, portant la culotte noire, verte et or, et pesant 167,9 livres. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with green and gold trim and weighing in at 167.9 pounds. En 36 combats professionnels, il a remporté 33 victoires, 17 par KO et 1 combat nul. His professional records reads a very impressive 33 wins, 17 by knockout and 1 draw in 36 bouts. Mesdames et messieurs, l'aspirant numéro 1 au titre canadien et ancien champion du monde WBO, classé présentement numéro 13 par le WBC. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the #1 contender for the Canadian title, currently ranked 13th by the WBC and former WBO middle champion of the world, de Montréal, from Montreal, Otis Magic Grant. Dans le coin bleu, portant la culotte rouge et noire et pesant 166,4 livres. Across the ring, his opponent fights out of the blue corner, wears red with black trim, and weighed in at 166.4 pounds. En 19 combats professionnels, il montre 14 victoires, 4 par KO et 1 nulle. His record shows 19 bouts, 14 wins, 4 by knockout, and 1 draw. Mesdames et messieurs, accueillons de Qualicum Beach en Colombie-Britannique le champion canadien des super moyens. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Qualicum Beach, BC, the super middleweight champion of Canada, Mark the Machine Gun Woolnough.
When you're ready, let's go. Mark, Otis. You guys received your instructions in the dressing room. Remember, you have to obey my commands. This is a championship fight. You're both professionals. Like, you conduct yourselves so. Shake hands now. Good luck to both of you.
This is for the Canadian Championship, so the Canadian, not the Quebec rules, take precedent. No 3 knockdown, no standing 8. The difference here, fighter can't be saved by the bell in any round. As we get ready to go here, I got to tell you, Bill, big story here. Mark Woolnough, 14-4-1, but he's 23 years old. He has immense respect for Otis Grant, but that he thinks of him, that was then, this is now. And Grant's a 36-year-old fighter. We see these are both southpaws. Wow, what a rapid clip after watching a couple of heavyweight fights. They are really putting punches together, and there Grant wants to get on the inside, and he digs that right to the body nicely.
Well, it's old confidence against new confidence is what both guys were saying.
Right, it's true. Here comes Otis Grant trying to work in behind that jab. Little flurry, and then he'll get out. And Woolnough especially worry. He doesn't want to get caught inside. So he's got to create and control distance here. That would be the way to do it, and that would be to be first and land often. He's missing with his jab here. And Grant is picking his spots and
Well, he's being
elusively
instructed
working his way in.
He's really being told to let his hands go. He seems to be shorting his own punches, and he can't do that.
And Grant really nicely rolling under shots and getting inside, which is where he wants to be. And Woolnough again wants to create and control that distance. So two left-handers there, predictably moving to the right. So no problem when a southpaw meets a southpaw. It will throw some if you don't meet many of them, but both say they have faced southpaws. It's absolutely no problem. Otis Grant is in the black, and then we see in red is Mark Woolnough. He's the Canadian super middleweight champion. And there's the instruction we're talking about. They want Mark Woolnough being first, and he really should be. Looking to throw that jab. He tries to go to the body there, and now trying to put punches together as they hold. And you could see the scar tissue on Otis Grant's left shoulder, most notably. Those are the signs of that accident again.
And look at those left ribs, too.
Oh, a miraculous recovery that this guy is in a boxing ring today. Nice lead left by Grant, but now he backs off.
Well, he's trying to, in his own defensive way, maintain control.
There's no question it looks like he has respect. He wants to see what Woolnough has. And I give Woolnough credit. He's the younger guy, and he's coming forward enough with aggression. But both guys obviously leery of the other. You got to feel the guy's power. You got to see how he moves first. Unless you feel you could just jump somebody cold. Otis Grant's 36 years old. Moving well, though. Now looking for openings. And really tough to find. Good defense, I think, by Mark Woolnough. He's got his elbows in, and he's got his gloves up, and his chin is down. Good pace to this first round as they're closing it out here in Montreal. Otis Grant in black, and in the red is Mark Woolnough. Crowd likes it.
Well paced.
We go to Grant's corner. His brother Howard is his trainer.
Quick. Yeah? First time. Okay.
Gotta keep moving ahead. When he's on the ropes, don't load up on the shots. You understand? Don't load up on the shots. You understand? Keep putting the shots together. You're caught him with the left in the beginning of the thing. You understand? Just keep moving ahead and get inside. When he's on the ropes, don't load up on the shots, man. Just put the shots together. You understand? How do you feel?
Good.
Suck it up. Still, keep moving. Don't let the hold. Anytime you get inside, you're going to fight his fight. You got to do this, right? You got to take this. Stay outside. Use your reach. Control the range. Be first, and then just keep stepping.
That's exactly what they want. Control that range. They want Woolnough to really use his quickness. Although Otis Grant at 36 is a very quick guy, I think. But the advice in that corner: keep moving your head, be elusive, and I think he is. And don't again
Stay outside.
Don't try to load up as much. Just put those punches together short and crisp. And I agree. I'm impressed with Mark Woolnough. He's very quick, and his defense is tight. And I think most importantly, while he absolutely has immense respect for Grant, it doesn't look that he's not intimidated.
He's fighting his fight.
Grant trying to find that body. He'll crouch low. He's already lost the height battle and the reach, so Woolnough standing tall, but now being forced to flurry a little bit, now holding on, and Grant doing the smart thing. He is banging to the body once inside, staying inside here. This is where Woolnough should perhaps back off, but no, instead he comes back with some fire of his own.
If you see a few swings and misses, that's just the quickness of Grant.
Grant with his back grazing the ropes. There elusively rolling under shots and then rolling up and firing that right hook. And they want Mark Woolnough outside. You can hear. He's got to get that jab into play, and A sneaky right from Grant, who comes banging and bulldozing his way in.
Well, I asked
Woolnough
Grant
should hold on.
what his style would be, Nick, and he said he's going to see how Mark reacts. If Woolnough comes one way, he'll do another. So it is bait and switch and a real bit of reaction on Grant's part. That's why you've actually seen both. He was on the ropes. Now he's in the center of the ring.
Yeah, I think Grant's being pretty cautious. He wants to see what this guy has, and perhaps feel he could crank up the pressure as this fight goes along. But you could see that he's committed to going to the body as much as he can, and that would be to take away Woodruff's legs. Woolnough is back against the ropes now, and he ties up, waits for the referee to break him. They push off.
How about the size of the ring for these little guys? Does that extra foot make a difference?
Well, I mean, if a guy was moving constantly, and I do have to say that they both move very well. Woolnough seems to be the guy who really wants that distance. Sure, he would rather have 2 extra feet. Looks like Grant can't find an opening. He's trying to make the play, but he'd almost prefer to counter, but without anything coming back, he just charges right ahead. But wow, look at Mark Woolnough just spin his man into the ropes, and not going to be bullied by Otis Grant.
That was the second twist, Nick, in this round.
Grant very elusive. Look, taking that shot on the gloves, and Woolnough missing with a lot of those left hands as he's trying to put him behind that jab at the belt.
You're not. Ready? Got to stay with your jab and keep moving. Okay, every time you stop and wait for him, you're playing into his hands. That's all you're doing. It's giving him an opportunity to score. Stick to your game plan. That's all you need to do. He's doing exactly what we thought he was going to. Right? Exactly. Right? Stay on the outside. Use your punch. Move your feet before he gets to you. Use your jab. Bap, 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 change. Bap, 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 change. On the ropes, don't stand and wait for him. You're playing into his hands. You're going to lose that way. You're going to lose. Okay, this round. Control this whole round. You need a whole round.
Outside?
Outside. Give him a water to rinse, Kev. Here, rinse with this. Okay, control this whole round.
Really impressed with trainer Richard Lestage. Not too many instructions. Basically, it is stick and move, box and move, and play to your strengths.
And normally they like to do positive reinforcement. I like what he said. If you do that, you're going to lose.
Right.
He said it very clearly.
Well, Mark Woolnough impresses me for a 23-year-old fighting basically certainly a Canadian legend, Otis Grant. And his focus is fierce, and it really has to be. He has to absolutely stay alert every moment and focus on exactly what he has to do to somehow break this guy down. Because Otis Grant does not appear to be a 36-year-old fighter on the way down looking to fade away.
Because he had to drop that 22, and I don't know if that'll make a difference. I mean, look at the quickness. I mean, that's exceptional.
Grant just continuing to roll, bob, left, right, under shots. And Woolnough really should make him pay there. Maybe step back, half step, and nail him with an uppercut. But he's got to get off those ropes. They want him to box. They want him to keep this fight in the center of the ring. Feeling that Grant's biggest chance is to get inside, stay inside. So it's for Woolnough, it would look to punch and get out. That's quickness. He certainly has the wheels to do it.
Otis trying to cut the ring off, though.
Oh, he should be doing that, in my opinion, don't you?
No, absolutely. He's trying to cut the ring off. He's trying again. And I asked him about the southpaw difference. He thought that Woolnough would have the problem, but so far he has adjusted. But again, when he does this, I really think this is, even though it looks like Otis isn't in control, I think this is where he's sort of dictating tempo. Sounds strange.
Good pace to this fight, and Woolnough firing combinations, and he feels he's getting enough free shots here. Grant lying in the woods, unloading that left as he really launches himself into that left hand. Otis Grant, 36 years old. Look at the shape he's in, and look at him as he begins to rapid fire and ratchet up his attack. So the offense coming into big gear. It looks like Grant's waiting game is over.
Well, he's just learned something now. He has just learned something by watching what he's done. He sees what he can do. Now, can he go back to it is the question.
Keep him up, Otis.
Mark, get the jab. Control your range.
Can't help thinking that Otis Grant's trying to set some traps.
That's what I think.
But Mark Woolnough would be wise to, again, do exactly what he's doing there. If you see some shots here on the ropes, take it. If not, get off, go back into the middle of the ring, and use your speed, use your quickness. Now, this is where Grant wants him, maybe, to bang with him. He's inside. Now he's looking for leverage just before the bell and a couple of late shots, and Grant knew it and apologized.
That's simple. You start listening or you leave your belt here. What do you want? Well, you're not getting it this way. When he comes to you, or it's actually when you're leading, you're going in on him. You're throwing a couple punches, you're leaning in. Why?
So Otis
that's
Grant,
his fight. You know that's his fight is
him,
inside. Stay outside, use your jab, use your quick 1-2s.
Defensive moves, really very smart, and that comes with his elusiveness. He is difficult to hit flush.
He shows both sides. He shows where he can come in and lay in. Okay, you're not really going to get a clean shot on him. Then once he comes out, he'll show you some pop.
And once he's inside, he wants to stay inside. But they're actually backing off. Very good work.
Come inside with him. You give him inside. You have to sit on inside. Don't hold on to him. Take these shots.
You're boxing this guy like nothing, man. Just box him.
Exactly what Howard Grant, just what we were saying. I thought once he's inside, to stay inside. And that's what Howard Grant wants his brother Otis to do. Not back off. Once you got pressure, increase it. Here comes Grant coming out. Even more conviction. Close fight, Bill.
Woolnough not backing off, though. I like him. He likes to stay in the center now.
Woolnough really doesn't show me home run power by any means. And maybe because he's moving so well, he's not turning over a lot of shots, sitting down on his punches well. When he gets the free shots, though, he should just score points and then move out quickly.
He has used his strength to sort of twist Otis into the ropes, but again, Grant does not seem to mind being there.
Well, he's giving him nice little angles, I think, too. He's just cutting those corners really nicely and trying to run Otis Grant into some punches. But again, if he starts working off the jab, instead they're looking to counter, failing to discourage Otis Grant Black, who continues to look for those openings, flicking his jab as well, and looking to unload that left hand.
But again, you see the change in nature, though, by Grant. You'll see him backpedaling, and now you know he's basically in a pivot in the center of the ring.
Well, it's just going to be interesting to see how judges score this fight, because a lot of them, you look at volume punching, and it looks like Mark Woolnough is landing more shots, but Grant seems to be landing,
quality.
Once he's inside, some quality, yeah. So what do you like better? It really hasn't fallen into any discernible pattern this fight, and that's what's really making it interesting. As you said, there's been some shifts in terms of strategy and the way guys are approaching each other.
And there's I hate that. I wish they would take those darn things away.
I'm with you.
I knew it was going to make a difference.
One time.
Though, nothing against ring announcements and that type of thing, and obviously it's important, but you really cannot compromise the ring for that. That's the fifth twist, they call it. The fifth turn.
Boy, Otis Grant, 36 years old. Black looks absolutely fresh. Fighting a guy 13 years younger and the Canadian super middleweight champion.
You're now in the corner, and look at Grant coming out. He still can come in, and he still can't score, can Woolnough. He cannot score.
And Grant inviting him in now, inviting him. So what do you do?
And the crowd appreciates it. They see it.
I don't think you want to be there. I think you back off and let him come to you. Let Grant come out of that corner. It's not going to do Woolnough any good to be there unless he gets absolutely free shots.
Well, again, Woolnough was sort of imploring him to come back out, which is why he was staying on the back. But again, even though it sounds crazy, Otis sitting now, literally sitting on the rope. But I think he's trying to make a statement. This is still mine.
He launched himself with that, back into the fight with that right hand, and then comes back with a left hook, or a left cross just before the bell.
You did in training, okay? That body shot, you got an answer for that. Listen, have a drink. When he's on the ropes and you're coming in, don't lean in after you punch. Go back long like you did there, but keep an effort on it. Sit back and pick him off. Just slide over, back and forth a little bit, okay? You got to stay long with your jab. Use your ankle.
Well, you can see why he's called machine gun, because Woolnough wants to put him in rapid fire motion. He's trying to do that, but you can see him being frustrated. Come on, Otis. He's like,
Hey, are you coming inside or are we going to go outside?
well, that was the cat and mouse, Nick.
Yeah, great. I think, again, very heady corner work there.
Back to the corner. Back to the corner.
Mark
Back to the
Woolnough's
corner.
trainer, Richard Lestage, saying, hey, get full extension. Take that half step back. Why take away your punching room when you're in close that way? That's what Grant wants to.
Which is why Grant was telling him, come on back in.
Right. Now middle of the row. Oh, and he gets clocked. Beautiful counter by Otis Grant. That right hand was perfect. Will that discourage some of Mark Woolnough's ambition? Another right hand. Very quick from Grant. Now he's inside as he wraps to the body. And Grant putting together 30 solid seconds. It's very early in this round, but at the same time, absolutely impressive as he seems to have changed gears.
That was a nice comeback, actually, by Woolnough. But again, his mouth ran right into that previous punch by Grant. That's the type of fight that Woolnough's people are trying to do. They're trying to have him stick and move.
Right. Never let Otis Grant get set.
You're tied up.
Grant's a very quick guy, I think. He's a complete fighter in every regard. But at the same time, if you keep him out of sync a little bit and he never really puts that offense in motion, you could win this fight.
Well, Roy Jones is the quickest guy I've ever seen, and in that fight, up until the 8th round, that was a show of double quickness, and he couldn't get to Grant in that fight either until late.
Mark Woolnough fighting a very intelligent fighter. Absolutely impressed with his composure and his overall skills as a boxer. Definitely a boxer first, and now he gets driven back and wisely ties up Grant. Now he should step out half step and get that full extension on some of his shots. Keep that chin down.
Grant coming through, though.
Yeah, Grant has him where he wants him.
He even sneaked in an uppercut.
Here comes Grant. Smart move by Woolnough, not letting Grant be the aggressor there.
A little bit of change, a little open hand by Woolnough. I don't like that.
Grant's winning this round handily, in my opinion, and it's obviously important. This is a fight that's too close to call on, probably to many onlookers.
Woolnough has to be careful, again, with advertisements.
The jab is once there. And Grant really not jabbing his way in. He feints the jab and then comes in with that overhand left. But he fights at such a rapid clip that it's difficult for Mark Woolnough to try to time Grant's rushes. There he stepped back very neatly.
Grant coming in with his head, moving forward.
Well, he could run into some counter punches, though. But Woolnough really keeping his head in this fight and his focus, which is absolutely vital. So Grant with a good round there, I would say, give him that one.
That was one of the ones that was clear. The other ones have been very close.
You just got to fight your game plan, Mark. That's all you need to do here, okay? When you can sit back, be first with your jab, okay? That's when things are happening. Pick off some quick twos, right? He's fighting exactly the way we knew he was going to. Yeah, exactly. You're not fighting the way you're supposed to, okay? You don't lean in with him. Don't wait for him. Try and keep a step ahead of him. When he's rushing, you step across and pivot.
Come on, y'all work smart, man. I see a four, but you're four times double job, you know, man. You can't say I load up with the left straight on the middle. You work on double job, you keep moving your head sometimes. This way you shuffling, you don't know how to do when you're shuffling.
Good action from Otis Grant here. Again, that's the perfect Otis Grant game right there. He avoids the punch, he comes in with a counter. And that's the way he's been fighting. As Nick pointed out, he clearly won this round because of moves like that.
And Howard Grant, his trainer and brother, saying you got to put some more punches together and start with that double jab and really work off of it. Because you don't want Otis Grant doesn't want to run into any punches, and I really appreciate Mark Woolnough's quickness. And the corner instructions there, perfect, I think, for Mark Woolnough. Fight fast, basically. Fight fast. Use that quickness. You get off with that jab first, and even if you only land the jab, you move out. When the left hand's open, then you come in behind the jab with that. But you could win the fight this way, and there we see the jab landing, and Grant pulling up short.
Well, Woolnough actually showing good patience here. He's looking. He's now looking and connecting. I really like the way he started off this first half minute.
Grant walking in, taking some shots, looking to counter, but he's coming in squared up. And now it looks like Woolnough should really just spin out here and get boxing again. Again, he's got the legs. He's got the wheels to move. He's certainly got the stamina. He looks to be in great shape, as does Otis Grant. Nobody seems to be tiring.
Nope, he should stay outside, which is what he's going to try to get back to doing.
This is scheduled for 10. We're in Montreal at the casino, and Otis Grant bangs to the body there, and here we see Mark Woolnough backing off. He's got a clinch over here. I'm sure he got stung by that body attack. He pushes off Grant. Woolnough has to get back to boxing.
Grant went low high, which did work.
Oh, boy. Woolnough with a risky move there, that lead left. He could have got nailed when he was reaching badly. Grant didn't make him pay in that case. Grant's jab just hasn't been an effective tool. Setting up his left hand, it seems, and maybe getting him inside. But basically, he's more or less waving it rather than punching through.
Which is what you were saying earlier about and double jabs are critical. Double rights, in this case with the lefty, is critical. He can't do it. He hasn't been doing it anyway.
Woolnough doing a good job of, I think, timing Grant, but he's got to do a little bit more offensively to win this round, or this one could slip away, too. And there he bangs a combination, and Grant ties him up. Mark Woolnough is the Canadian super middleweight champion. He's in the red. And Otis Grant from Montreal, 36 years old, on the comeback trail. Woolnough is from British Columbia, so he's come a long way for this one.
Well, it's critical. He started the round off strong. I think he wants to close it out strong if he wants to make a strong impression on the judges.
Crucial rounds. Crucial rounds for the champion. For both men. Grant's inside, and there we see Woolnough flurrying back of the bell. A good move. It could have been enough to perhaps steal that round. I mean, take it in combination. It's tough.
That one was close. That one was close. I like the way Woolnough started.
Good work. Right up again. You understand? Listen to me, man. Give me a splash.
Again, good moving. I like the way Woolnough started, but again, this is the key to Grant. He knows I have a terrific body shot, and as Nick pointed out earlier on, that I think stunned him. Rarely do you see a lower body shot into the ribs or just above the kidney make a difference, but in his case, it worked. Now, he really hasn't had a tremendous amount of effect with that right,
deep punch, change again. Make him do circles, just like you did in training. That's all you need to do. He's laying out the game plan that we put forward. He's playing his part perfectly. You're not. Okay? You got to get that jab. Just pumping that jab, say the truth behind it.
Yeah, they really want Mark Woolnough. I mean, it's very clear, the instructions from the corner. Excellent job once again. They want him to keep turning Grant so he can't get set, because Grant's jab is just, in my opinion, not a real weapon at this point.
Lestage said it perfectly. He's fighting his fight, you're not.
Right.
And he nailed it. That is exactly correct.
Woolnough now smoking the jab. Got some steam on it again, but he is not a big puncher. There's no question about it. And that makes it difficult to discourage anybody. So you really got to out-slick him and out-box him. And Otis Grant is a very slick fighter, even at 36. He's got the legs, too. He's shown no sign of backing off, of easing off. Any stamina questions. This one's scheduled for 10.
Talked to Woolnough this morning, in particular, about what he expected from Grant. He says, no, I am a boxer. He said, I am a boxer. He repeated that mantra. And he's been doing that.
I think Grant's got to start increasing a little bit of pressure. Because he is the challenger here, and no matter how much of a legend he is, you got to take it from the champion. And it's a very close fight.
Yes. No, by no means is this one wrapped up, even though we're almost through 7. No, a strong finish by Woolnough can certainly swing the balance. I would say, if anything, Grant is ahead ever so slightly. Maybe 2 rounds up. I saw that he dominated.
I
thought the third was good.
Trouble scoring this one so far. I think it's close. It's absolutely close.
Well, now he's starting, but again, it's with the right, Nick.
Grant's doing a good job in this round,
Yes.
and the point is, I don't think Mark Woolnough is doing much of anything offensively. He's moving, but he's not doing anything to impress judges in terms of controlling this round without punching, turning Grant, who will not be suckered into walking into any shots, it seems.
Well, judges always consider who is the leader in the ring. And no matter what style you see Grant, I still look at him as the man who is the leader in this ring. He's not. He looks like a counterpuncher, which seemingly thinks that you're on the reverse, but it's not. It's all part of his game plan.
Well, that's it. Game plan, exactly. Part of ring generalship. Again, Bill is forcing the opponent out of his fight plan, and that's just what you indicated before this started. And the corner knows that Mark Woolnough is not fighting his type of game, and you got to credit Otis Grant. But I still think that Woolnough could do it of his own volition. He could change up here. He doesn't have to go to war with this guy, but he's really got to put punches together from the outside. And so far, we haven't seen it here in the 7th round, which he is losing. His work rate has really dropped off. He's just taking shots on the gloves now, and Grant's just looking for his openings and saying, I'll fight when I fight. When I want to fight, coast when I want to coast, because nothing's coming back.
Woolnough should try to finish strong here. He really should.
Listen to the corner here. They're out.
Will there be a
They're going to wake him up. They're going to wake him up. Let's listen.
Outreach him, outwork him. Okay? Don't just lay back and let him come in. You've got to stay on the outside, especially when he's on the ropes. There's no reason for you to lean in. You're not winning inside. Okay? You're allowing him to score. Even if you are going to win that exchange, he's still scoring. If you stay on the outside, outreach him, be busier than him, he can't touch you. He can't touch you. Okay? Quick jabs, double him up, come up that back foot on a couple snappy ones, put some twos behind him, and that's it. Then keep turning again. Keep turning again.
Again, slowly. Again.
Okay, back to your foot, all right? Everything off the jab.
Back to double jump.
They both want work off the jab. That's the both corners want, and of course, that puts the whole offense in motion. And Mark Woolnough doesn't need much. He needs that right hand, that left, and the left over the top, and then to get out. Fight quick once again.
We talk about age. We talk about the 13 years difference. Now let's see it in action. Will it be a difference? So far, Otis has not shown.
I agree. No indication that Otis Grant has slowed at all. He is fighting at the same kind of clip. And as the corner indicated, and here we see Grant, but he backed off. It didn't look like it actually hurt. I would think that Grant would know enough to sense that he's got his opponent in danger.
We're going to have with that same right above the kidney.
You know what? He could have been shaken up again. We see that Mark Woolnough is looking to his corner a little bit, and it seems that mentally his focus just isn't as sharp, Bill. He seems to have lost a little bit of direction in what he has to do as he eats a left hand there.
Well, he may be searching, and again, this is the greatness of magic. I mean, he has that ability to do that to you, to get you out of your game, and then when you do, now you're in search of.
Yeah, the Magic Man.
Well, I asked him about that name, too. I said, where did you get it? He said, I got it when I was a kid playing touch football. I took the football, tucked it under my shirt, and ran into the end zone. Nobody knew where the ball went.
That's a good move.
That was magic. That was the first name. He said, then we got into boxing. They had to come up with a second reason why. And, of course, he did a move apparently on a fighter that resembled Magic Johnson, of all things. A basketball-type move. Because of his great quickness.
Mark Woolnough's got to get back into this fight, Bill.
Yes,
he
absolutely.
really has taken this round off, too. And he has just forgotten everything his corner told him, just to outreach and outwork. He is not outworked. He's getting hit, and he swallows another counter punch there. And Grant is now picking his shots. Not connecting all the time, but he is driving his man back. And again, fighting when he wants to fight, coasting when he wants to coast. With nothing coming back at him, Grant's going to move in and take his time and build the kind of attack he needs. He's got to get discouraged, and Mark Woolnough's got to turn his man more. He's just not taking the lead here. Not first, and now he's getting the worst of it again. So he is fading down the stretch.
Well, he faded,
mentally,
against Frost.
physically. He's got to create some problems and take away some of Otis Grant's ambition. It's controlling action again, Bill, to suit your strengths, and I see that this guy moves so well. Mark Woolnough, he showed us how he can move, how he could stick and move and really turn over occasionally that left hand. And now he's getting outgunned here as he tries to go to war with Otis Grant. He's got to push off, get back in the center ring, and get back and move, stick move.
He's still in search of. He's still in search of. He's got to figure it out. Maybe he can.
Grant's a tough guy. There's no question to solve.
Crowd appreciated that.
Yeah, Grant appreciating. He's definitely turned the tide this way.
That's beautiful work, man.
When you sponge it down.
Pick up bucket. Go on the run. Sponge it again. Beautiful work, man. Beautiful work. Listen to me. Listen to me. You can't be pulling out with your hand down, man. You understand what I'm saying? Here. Suck it up. You got 2 more rounds, man. You can't be pulling out with your hands down. Listen to me. When you're shuffling upon this suit and you upon this rope, you have to nail him in the ribs. You have to nail him in the ribs. You start to horn puff my bleed.
Around 9.
Not much left. 10 rounds.
You understand?
Suck it up.
10 rounds.
You understand? Don't be careful out there, man. You can't be careful. Be smart. Keep boxing. Off the double jab. You understand?
You have to love it. You have to love the remarks. It's a little bit of French, a little bit of English, a little bit of patois.
I'm impressed.
A little bit. I love the language they have. They have a three language dialogue going there.
Bill, critical thing, though, that Howard Grant told Otis is basically you're putting on a clinic, and it really was beautiful work. And he's just got a load of confidence. He's never gotten ahead of himself, Grant. Never panicked once. I thought he lost a lot of the early rounds and got outboxed. But he's been cautious, and he's cranked up the pressure.
Lamarck's trying to show. You see, he's trying to move the feet. He's really trying to make a conscious effort to stay not only focused and wired, but also trying to look for the opportunity.
He's got to move his hands. He's got to put his hands into play. He's got quick hands. I don't think he's gassed by any means.
No.
And now he's really getting outgunned a little bit and pushed around. He was controlling this fight. I was so impressed with him, but again, he's done a steady fade. He's been in decline offensively, and then he gets whacked with a left hand. But Grant unexpectedly backs off. But he's able, again, punch when he wants to punch, rest when he wants to rest. There's the openings, nothing coming back. There's the jab.
In baseball parlance, he's Greg Maddux. I mean, he doesn't impress you with his stuff. He just impresses you with all the things that he can do.
Good analogy.
I mean, he's clearly frustrated his opponent.
Well, Mark Woolnough really having a tough time figuring out Grant. Grant able to bull rush him there, really. Well, very elusive. He's rolling and not getting hit flush, though.
That's about the 10th time I've seen that in this fight.
Look at Grant just picking his spots. Where's the jab from Mark Woolnough? Where's that range? How's he creating any distance? He's not doing it anymore. As Grant continues to close the gap, exactly what he wants to do.
A fan of boxer has to love this. This is the sport. This is the science of the sport, what you're seeing in Grant.
Absolutely.
And people like to see guys that sit there and slug and all that, and that's all well and good. But what you're seeing from this man is sheer intellect.
He should step back once again. It looks like Woolnough should step back instead of taking those shots, getting creased to the body.
His corner is imploring him.
Now he is, and now he's shortened up the shots nicely. And Woolnough puts together a little bit of offense.
Break. Step back now.
He's crucial that he wins this round and the next, because he's let this fight slip away from him. And here comes Otis Grant, just what he wanted. Building an attack beautifully. Slowly taking over this fight as we close down round 9.
And the crowd appreciates
scheduled 10 rounds.
The crowd appreciates the effort by Otis. You hear the let's go magic. You hear it.
All right, here we go to the corner with 1 round to go. And Grant really revved his engines here in the 9th. As we see him go to work to the jaw, flush with that left hand, backing off here, resetting.
Mark, this is it, last round.
Okay,
Let's go to the
come out
corners.
big and do your stuff. Just do what you train for. That's all you need to do. Right? That's all you need to do. Okay? Don't sit there and try and time him with one shot. Right? You're not going to knock him out. No. Outbox him. Try and hit him 100 times. Use that jab. Use your footwork. Keep him turning. You're standing. You're waiting. You're waiting for him to come and hit you, and then he's hitting you. Move your feet. Keep him turning. Use your angles. Control the range with your jab. Shoot some quick twos behind it, but you got to let it go. Okay, and you got to do it for 3 minutes here, and you need a big round, but you can't do it inside. Don't try. You got to fight smart, not just fight. Because if you come inside to fight him, he's winning those exchanges. Okay, you got to fight smart. You got to fight hard, but smart from the outside. Keep him turning, slide around, pivot around him.
I got the suit. We need to put him in tee up on the Magic. Simple. Don't rush him.
Is fatigue a factor, Nick? I'm not sure, but you have to say this about Woolnough. The first 17 fights are only 4 or 5 rounds, maybe 6 at the most. Only in the last 2 has he gone 10 or more.
Bill, I think it's very simple. I think they're out of answers, the Champions Corner. They don't know. It's the same stuff. I mean, how many times can you tell a guy, listen, you got to fight with more urgency, though. I don't think it's enough to just say, hey, keep moving and don't fight his fight anymore and don't go inside. I can't believe that the corner of Mark Woolnough, the champion, thinks that his man is winning this fight. He's losing his belt here, and the way I see it.
I agree.
Let him go. Let him go.
I completely agree. But again, they're trying to have him gain some distance. But can he do it is the question.
He's got to put some offense together. It's that simple.
He has to stay wide and then come through. He's trying. He's trying. Now, my question is, will Grant change his style? Will he, in a sense, do a stall? I don't think so. Because I think he may feel he has to fight one. I don't know.
I don't think he feels threatened at all. Otis Grant in black, having things his way. The champion, Mark Woolnough, may not be the champion for long. There's less than 2 minutes to go in this fight. He is the Canadian super middleweight champion in the red trunks. 2 southpaws fighting at a good clip this entire fight, but it's been Otis Grant who slowly but surely has cranked up the pressure and taken over this fight. Mark Woolnough was very impressive early, boxing and moving. But it was Grant who never got ahead of himself.
Well, Woolnough's got a minute and a half to do something. He has to do something now. He has to. Can he? Is the question. He's trying. I mean, he is trying. He's trying to pick up the intensity here, and he realizes it.
Watch your head.
You see Otis not wanting to give anything away. He's going to remain heady. He's going to remain heady until the end. And when he stays to the center, he realizes that he can move away from those punches. He can use his great elusiveness, even though he tries to tie him in the corner. That's what he's trying not to do. Now Grant talking with the official. Might have been a little low.
Here we see the champion fighting with the kind of conviction and thunder that we were looking for earlier. I shouldn't really say thunder. He hasn't really landed a clean, jarring blow in many rounds.
No, I agree. His left has been effective at times, clearly.
Could be a little blood trickling out of the nose of the champion.
Yeah, just a little.
There's Otis Grant looking for the openings. Be interesting to see how they score this one. Had a champion Woolnough early and definitely coming on big. Maybe pitching a shutout. The last 5 rounds was Otis Grant. As you look at him there, having to feel certainly confident, but not overconfident. No lead is safe when you got to go to the cards.
Absolutely, Nick. And when you think about it, I like what Otis did right at the end of the fight. He shook his head as if to say, no, that's it. I think you tried and you couldn't do it. Well, we'll see. I mean, Woolnough had his moments. There was times when he made some legitimate moves, especially early on. He was trying to give Grant a different look. But as Otis told us at the beginning of the fight, there was no way. He was going to see what his opponent had, and once he realized what he was up against, that's when he began to employ his strategy. And employ is a good word because he was going through the corner, and once he was stuck in that rope, you figured, uh-oh. But no, that's the way Grant wanted to do it. He was trying to keep his opponent inside. Yet you heard constantly throughout the fight, you heard the trainer was stage continuing to tell Woolnough, listen, you have to stay outside. You have to remain outside. Work outside in, as opposed to inside out. He couldn't do it. There was some good move. There was some good movement by Grant.
Well, speaking of action, look at the elusiveness of Otis Grant early.
Excellent. Good stuff, Nick. I mean, you see it. You see early on that he just couldn't land. Otis was saying, no, this is my fight. You got to come at me. That's why I can use my intelligence. And he wasn't just a receiver. You saw on occasion he was a giver. He was moving and sticking and doing a terrific job of that. And just really more than anything else, it might have been a bit of frustration on his part.
We ask you, we invite you to stay with us.
So you'll see what happens. I mean, the judges are formulating the cards now. I don't know necessarily a shutout, but I do think it was a strong performance by this man. Again, his third fight back from where he was. Remember, he was a top-notch fighter. He fought Roy Jones Jr. for the crown. This man, the Canadian champion, Woolnough, did a fine job. He showed his quickness, and at times he was showing what he can do. He definitely has strength. He definitely has movement. But whether or not he can do what he wanted to do in this fight was the question, and I don't think he could have solved that, man. Nick pointed that out earlier. He really couldn't solve it. And then Nick used the word frustration, which may have also entered into Woolnough. I think he was beginning to search for things.
Great job, Mark. Good job.
Once again, ladies,
Gauthier has the decision. Let's get it up to the ring announcer.
Two warriors. Voici maintenant la décision des juges. Here is the judge's decision. Le juge Lapointe remet une carte de pointage de 97-93. Judge Lapointe scores at 97-93. Le juge Procopio, 98-92. Judge Procopio scores at 98-92. Et le juge Woodburn, 98-92. Judge Woodburn scores at 98-92. For the winner, by unanimous decision, a new super middleweight champion of Canada, Otis Magic Grant.
You see Otis, and the judges agree. They had it 98-92 and 97-93. A well-deserved victory for Otis Grant. You saw him continuing to move, and the frustration word was clearly the key. He just Woolnough could not really get into his game because Grant would not allow it. It was a wonderful, heady performance. It shows that you need not really have a super strong jab. If you can use your quickness and use your intensity, you can force your will on your opponent. It appeared that Grant had that. He had it moving, and he did a terrific job. Nick Charles is up in the ring, and he has our winner. Nick?
I'm with a delighted guy. Otis Grant, you put on a clinic.
Nick, I thank you very much. It was a difficult fight for me, but he was a southpaw. He's a very gutsy kid. He's strong, and to make matters worse, I dislocated my rib last week. I almost pulled it out, but I couldn't do it because it's first show that Group before Michel was doing. So, a couple of times he leaned on me or hit me to the body. I felt it coming back out. So my brothers tell me, stay inside and work the body. I said, I can't work the body because whenever I'm working the body, I get hit. I feel it. So. It was a good job overall. All in all, it was a C-grade performance, I thought.
Otis, how, when, and where to hit a guy, how to build an attack. Tell me how you broke him down.
You know what? I was working off the jab. I think that was the best way. He had very quick hands. He had a fast jab with snappy punches. And what I found the most effective I was is when I would work off my double jab and he would slip one way, slip the other way, and I'd catch him with the left hand. But the problem was I couldn't put two combinations on him. I'd catch him tail-end shots, and that's my problem when I fight southpaws.
You were cautious early, and then obviously you kept cranking up the pressure and definitely wanted to make it an inside fight. But even later, you'd back off and set your distance, and it seemed that he wasn't running out of steam, but he stopped boxing and really sticking and moving and turning and trying to cut corners with you.
Right, and basically when he started doing that, I just started bobbing, weaving, because I know when I have to be, I could be very, very elusive in the ring, and it's hard for guys to catch me clean. So I was trying to weave and catch him with something coming off a weave, but it never really turned out that way,
You spoke to us yesterday, said this is a guy I had to get past. He was the Canadian champion. You had a lot of respect for him. But Otis Grant, when you look at your life and what happened in 1998 after losing to Roy Jones and then sparring and You were lucky to be alive and come out of that accident the way you did. Did you ever, in your heart of hearts, say, "I'd never get back to this point"?
You know, I never wrote off my career as a fighter, and it was a point in my life when I didn't even consider boxing. Boxing was the furthest thing from my mind. You know, my family and my health was the paramount in my life, was the number one thing for me. And then just helping my brother in the gym with the guys and starting to train them and starting to spar with them. That's how I got back into this business. And then with Yvon Michel, was working with Interbox at the time, heard that I was in the gym. He asked me would I come back, and I said depends on the offer. And he made me a pretty fair offer.
I think
brought me back to
I think everybody back in this building and watching at home is very glad that Otis Grant is back, alive, well, and doing big things here in the ring. The new Canadian super middleweight champion. Coming up, Heavyweights Heroes continues. David Cadu, Daryl Smith, in a scheduled 4-rounder. Heavyweight Heroes is brought to you tonight by Casino de Montreal. And we're in beautiful Montreal, Canada on a sparkling late summer afternoon. More